Welcome to Or Something Like That,
the podcast where you can talk shit with your besties.
We're your hosts, Sam
and Hollis. Be sure to follow us on social and subscribe to the podcast so you never miss an episode.
And if you love us, give us that 5-star review. Weeks of Vault episodes.
Yeah, quite a hiatus.
Yeah.
We haven't even seen each other in like 3 weeks.
We haven't. We've both been traveling a little bit, and so yeah. I hope everyone enjoyed the
throwbacks.
The throwbacks, yeah. I certainly did.
Yeah.
I enjoyed listening to them.
Yeah, throwbacks to when we didn't really know what we were doing, but they were pretty good.
They really were, yeah.
Good conversation.
Yeah, for sure. And quite frankly, I mean, it's I guess no secret why our brand is kind of evolving into what it is, because both of those episodes really kind of fit into, you know, our sort of idea or mission of like talking about the intersection of pop culture and experiencing the world as women. I mean, they fit in. So, I mean, I guess, yeah, it means that our branding's going in the right direction.
Yeah, because I feel like that's just so often of what we talk about.
Right.
Just as friends. So
yeah.
That, you know, we call it our brand, but that's truly just...
It's like actually our true friendship brand
in
real life. Yeah.
So, yeah, it was cool.
Yeah.
It was nice to go back and listen.
Absolutely. It was fun. Yeah.
It's kind of crazy. I forget that we've actually been doing this for a little while now.
We've been recording episodes for over a year.
Yeah, which is insane.
Yeah.
It does not feel like it's been that long.
Because the first time we really got on the mics and just started recording to see
just
sort
riffing.
of... Just
riffing. Start riffing.
Just to see how we flowed, and was in March of last year.
Yeah.
So
it's cool.
Yeah.
Go us.
Right. Look at us. Look at us. Look how far we've come.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I saw Doug at the farm last night.
Oh, yes.
He was like, do you guys have a podcast now? And I was like, yeah. He was like, yeah, I saw it on Facebook.
Nice.
And I was like, cool. Did you listen?
Yeah. Can you listen to it, please?
Did you like and subscribe?
Yes. Please like and subscribe. We now have 7 subscribers for our YouTube channel. So onward and upward, really. I mean.
Once you hit 7, I feel like that's what people are like, shit really takes off.
They're like, this is the account to follow. Yeah, absolutely. I will say, though, just for whatever reason, I don't know that it really matters, because I feel like people tend to just kind of all watch their content in like one space anyway. But I haven't been as active on all the platforms because we're just kind of waiting. Hollis is working on our aesthetic and our visual branding and all of that. So I'm still going to post clips and stuff as they pertain to the episodes, but there may not be as much content until we I just don't see the reason to flood our accounts with content when we're working on, you know, new graphics and like all of that stuff. So just a little housekeeping for the listeners.
Yeah. Keep you up to date. Yeah. So what's been up with you?
Well, not much really. I mean, I went and visited a friend in Louisville. That was a lot of fun. She has a daughter close in age to my oldest daughter. So we just like bummed around Louisville and had a grand old time.
Nice.
It was fun. Yeah. So that, and then I did have a full-on Taipei spiral, but I'll let you share your traveling update and then we'll get into that.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I went to New Orleans last weekend for Memorial Day weekend. A friend of mine got married. So that was really fun. I kind of told myself I wasn't going to miss another friend's wedding.
Right.
Because there have been a couple in the last, 5 years that I couldn't go to or didn't go to, and I really regretted it. So I was like, I'm going. And she's one of my closest friends down there. So it was so nice. It was a really sweet outdoor backyard wedding, and it looked so beautiful. They did so much work, and it looked great. It rained all day.
Oh.
It was so sad. They set everything up, but they had to tear it down and replace it a couple times. But then right when the wedding was supposed to be starting, the rain stopped. So it was a little late because they had to clean, wipe everything off. But they pulled it off, and it was beautiful and so fun.
Nice.
It was hot as hell, but to be expected.
Yeah.
But I hadn't been back to New Orleans since I moved. So I got to see a couple other really good friends and eat all the food.
Right.
And I stayed with my cousin who lives down there who just moved back. So, it was a great
trip. Your mom went, right?
Yeah, I drove with my mom. We stayed with my cousin. So I got some good QT in with the fam. It was really short trip, but really great. I got to do all the things that I wanted to do. So
nice.
Yeah. And yeah, we drove, and everyone I've talked to is like, "You drove?"
It's not
Which
that bad.
I've made that drive a bunch of times over the years. It's a straight shot pretty much.
Yeah.
It's a nice drive. It's not that difficult. It is long. It's like, we made it down there in 11 hours, which is like record time. But yeah, no. Well, it was Memorial Day weekend for one. So flights were more expensive than normal. And, you know, we live in Bloomington, so it's an hour drive to the airport. Then you have to pay for parking, carton all your shit in. There's no direct flights to New Orleans, which I will pretty much do anything to avoid a connection.
Yeah.
Anymore.
Me too.
Like, it's just not worth it.
No.
And then, you know, in New Orleans, you have to get an Uber to the city where you're staying. It's like 45 minutes.
Right.
Pay for that. When it was all said and done, it was going to be just as long, if not longer.
A longer travel day.
Yeah,
traveling. With the connecting and driving to and from the airport. Yeah.
And flying is such a pain in the ass these days because it's so inconsistent. You always run into something.
Yeah.
Like I can't remember the last time I flew
and everything
was on time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like such a pain in the ass and it's uncomfortable.
Yeah, because even when we went to Colorado, was there a delay?
Yeah, I feel like we sat on the tarmac which is the worst.
There's nothing worse than that.
Yeah.
Like, there's absolutely nothing worse than that.
Yeah. Taxiing, just like sitting on the runway.
Oh my god.
And when they make you get off. And then get back on. It's just...
Honestly, that's better. I'd rather deplane. Because at least you can go get a coffee, you can go get a beer if you're pissed off enough. But like, once you're on the plane, especially with children, fuck off. I also
just feel like the likelihood of getting it back on the plane is slim. Like, when you get off, it's usually always being canceled or delayed.
Oh, I've had both.
Yeah.
I have had both where it's like they're just looking at something and then you do get back on the plane, but yeah, it's just sitting there. It's oh my god.
But yeah, I just feel like these days flying, especially short trips, it's just like not even worth it. It's way more work.
Yeah.
They try to screw you over in any capacity.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I'm not thinking about the air traffic control situation as well. And they're falling out of the sky, and things are going dark for 30 seconds. Like,
no way.
No, I mean, I'm not saying I won't be getting on a plane this year. I will be, but I'm not looking forward to it. And I'm definitely doing my summer trips are going to be just within driving distance, which for me is like 6 hours. I don't think I could do the New Orleans now, but I did it when you live there by myself. And it was fine.
It's like my cap basically. 12 hours is like pushing it these days, but I can do it. And then so you know, it's with my mom. She drove part of the way on the way down there, but I drove the whole way home because I get to a point where I'm just like, we're just doing this.
We're just going and we're going. Yes. Yeah, I'm that way too. And quite frankly, I mean, if you have the extra day or the time, like doing a 6 hour, stopping somewhere cool, having dinner, staying overnight, and then doing the next 6 hours, like if you have the time in your schedule to block out an extra day or two, that's totally doable and fine and kind of fun, honestly.
Yeah, for sure. And when you drive, you can bring as much stuff as you want.
Exactly. And you don't have to pay for your bags.
Yeah, you can pack the car with all of your shoes.
Yes.
You can bring everything you
That's right. You don't have to make any outfit sacrifices.
Right. I know. My dad was like, wow, a couple days, huh? And I was like, listen, a girl needs options.
A girl needs, especially for a wedding.
Oh,
Are you kidding?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm bringing everything in my closet that is appropriate.
Right. Well, I don't understand how you can plan an outfit in advance and just be like, yep,
and on commit
this
to
day,
it.
I'm going to feel like wearing this.
Yeah, no.
Because I feel like, maybe it's a female thing that, like, my body doesn't feel the same every day or look the same. So, like, I can't plan an outfit.
Absolutely not. Yeah, what if I eat a piece of broccoli and then I'm so bloated I can't wear the same outfit?
Exactly. Or what if, I like to change my clothes when I'm on vacation.
Right.
A lot of times.
What if my hair won't cooperate and I have to wear it up? And it doesn't look good with that.
I have to pick a different shirt.
That's right.
So, some people just don't understand.
What if I get a little tan and then I can wear white?
Yeah.
You know, if I get a little tan.
What if I wake up and I'm just feeling frisky and I'm like,
what if I wake up and I'm an entirely different person?
Which happens more often than you think.
That's right. Some days she's gorgeous, she's stunning. Some days she's a bridge troll. Okay, so you never know.
But yeah, so it's pretty much been what's up with me, that trip, and then getting back. Went on a couple dates.
Yeah, been dating a little bit.
Been hinging it up, and things are going well. So
yeah.
Stay tuned with that. I guess I'll let you know more details when they unfold. But
yeah,
been on 2 dates, and they were both pretty good. So
were they?
Okay, one was better than the other.
Yeah.
But
she's 1 for 2, really, which is pretty good.
I'd say that's pretty good.
Yeah.
I was really gearing myself up with low expectations.
Right.
Especially starting out.
I don't think that's a bad thing, though, to set the bar lower and be surprised, as opposed to setting the bar too high and then ultimately being disappointed. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, yeah, one was really great, and I had an awesome time. So we're going to keep seeing each other.
Right.
The other one, not so sure.
Right. And she definitely had an experience with the awkward, how do we end this date?
Okay. And it was a little bit of a Michael Cera super bad situation. It's like, okay, bye!
Bye! But we're walking. And then you just walk faster.
Yeah.
Bye! Oh, man. Good stuff.
Oh, Lord.
All right. Well, what do we have? We have some spill items. Oh, my type A spiral, which, people will probably understand this, but I was doing my end of spring, like early summer deep cleaning, which I do every year in like late May to kind of set the house up for summer, and then I do it again in early November to like set the house up for the holidays and kind of hunkering down for winter. So I was doing that, and we have these 2 lofts in our house, and they connect with this kind of little nook lofty space, and it's basically just set up like an office. It's a pretty small space, and we don't spend a ton of time upstairs in these lofts. So I was up there really, getting after it for the deep clean, and the walls were kind of like scuffed up a little bit up there. So I was like, okay, I better get this out and then really start scrubbing the walls down.
Did you magic eraser it?
So I've got my magic eraser, I've got my things, I'm doing everything, and then I was like, this really just needs to be painted. So I go to my husband and I'm like, hey, how much house paint do we have? And he was like, what? And I was like, he's like, the house color? I said, yeah. And he goes, a lot. I'm like, okay, can you get it for me? He's like, what are you doing? I was like,
spot painting.
I was like, I'm going to paint the office. And he's like, does it need it? I was like, yeah, it's really scuffed up. And you know what? It's just going to make me happy. So
it's really scuffed up.
It's going to make me happy. So I did. I full on type A spiraled, and I deep cleaned and painted the entire office space in.
Oh my gosh.
During nap time.
Did you have to take all the stuff out of it?
I mean, it's a really small space. It'd be equivalent almost to doing like a closet.
Yeah.
I mean, you've been up there, maybe. Yeah. It's pretty small.
I just feel like there's a lot of things in there that you'd have to move.
Not really. Just like a couple filing cabinets that I just moved off the wall. I didn't have to like take anything out of the room. The desk is built into the wall.
Right.
And then there's a big bulletin board that's also built into the wall. So there's not even like a ton of wall space. Okay. I mean, I was able to paint it. I did have to like tape off the trim and stuff. That always takes the most time. But I was able to do it in a couple of hours.
That's impressive. Yeah. During nap time.
During nap time, I was like, I simply can't move on until these walls are perfect and they must be painted.
They must.
So that's where my brain goes.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. I mean, I wish my brain was a little bit more like that, because I think I'm the kind of person it's like, I really need to paint these walls, but it's a lot of work. So
I don't always have time to paint the walls, but when I do, I don't.
Yeah, exactly. I do hate, though, like, scuffed walls.
There's nothing worse.
I know.
There's nothing worse than having a perfectly beautiful space, curated exactly the way you want, and your walls are scuffed.
Yeah. You know where that used to drive me crazy? Was Jiffy Tree.
Oh, God.
That place the walls were a nightmare, and it used to irk me so badly. I was like, we could clean this to no end, and it would still look dirty.
Yeah.
The walls are atrocious.
Exactly. That's how I felt about the office space. I was like, it's perfectly clean and, like, organized, but it still looks like shit.
Yeah.
So, anyway, feeling pretty good about that.
That's good.
Yeah. Yeah. The other thing I think that could just lightly be discussed is the fact that Pete Davidson made tattoos his entire personality and then had them all removed.
I know, and he had a lot. And they got them all removed.
They're all removed.
That must have been so painful and long, such a long, painful process.
And I feel like it wasn't even that long ago that he was, like, still getting new ones.
Yeah.
Like, when he was dating Kim Kardashian, and I remember seeing multiple headlines about, like, him getting new tattoos, and, like, then all of a sudden he's just like, oh, I don't want any of these.
Well, I think I've heard him say many times, he was like, yeah, I was really unhappy. And I think he finally got his mental health kind of, like,
and then it reminded him of, like, a bad time.
Yeah, and he was just like, yeah, I was doing that when I was struggling and in pain. I was like,
okay, fine.
So I think it's a good thing.
Okay. All right.
But I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I feel like I'm kind of happy for him. I'm like, okay, good for you. But that's he must have been really struggling. If he finally got to a point, I don't know if he's on medication or just therapy, whatever.
Right.
He finally got to a point where he's feeling better. That they were that bad of a reminder.
Oh, right.
But you would look at him and it was enough for him to remove all of them all at once.
Well, and it was a permanent visual reminder. So, I mean, I can get that, especially when you're sleeved and your whole, there's no escaping seeing it, so.
Right.
Okay, fine. I was going to make fun of him, but moving on.
Sorry, I didn't mean to blow up your,
the spot there.
We can still make fun of them.
Well, let's make fun of HBO Max for, like, totally just screwing the pooch.
Oh, and going back. HBO.
Like, why would you ever remove the HBO?
Yeah, I'm like, guys, I just got my parents to figure out the difference.
Right. That there is no difference.
I've been explaining this to them for a long time.
Yeah. And, like, why on earth would Cinemax ever have been the title over the HBO component?
Right.
Makes no sense.
Yeah.
They had no reputation aside from Skinamax.
I know, and it was crazy, too, that they dropped HBO altogether. They just wanted it to be Max.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, like, HBO, why would you get rid of HBO?
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's my whole point. Like, why would Max be the trump card?
Right.
It's not.
Yeah, exactly.
Makes no sense. So, anyway, that's embarrassing.
I know. I bet. Somebody must have gotten fired, and somebody who came in and was just like, all right, guys, enough with the nonsense.
Right.
We're going back to the brand name.
That's right.
That has always freaking been, that has an incredible, impeccable reputation.
That's right.
Yeah, it's like, why? I don't understand why people fuck with a good thing.
Exactly. I don't either. It makes no sense.
It doesn't make any sense at all.
And it's not like HBO Max was like, oh, that's a real mouthful. Better drop the HBO. Like, it was fine. Who cares? Like, yeah.
Okay, we didn't talk about this in our outline, but I want to get talking about, you had mentioned something earlier about ruining your joke.
Oh.
Okay, so this came up with a guy that I was talking to on Hinge.
Okay.
Cybertrucks. So there is a thing with Cybertrucks. I texted him. I was like going to work and I saw this Cybertruck and somebody had tagged it Garbage Patrol. And that's a thing now, I guess.
Okay.
So, like, in a response to Elon Musk and the Cybertrucks, people go around all over the place, I guess, now, and are tagging Cybertrucks Garbage Patrol as like an ongoing joke. Okay. And I immediately was like, oh, that's hilarious. Kind of, not really thinking too much about it.
I don't really get it, I guess.
I think it is mean-spirited and messed up to tag somebody else's. It's just supposed to be a joke.
Okay.
I think you may be thinking too much about the
I'm reading
too
much into it.
I think it's supposed to be like people who buy Cybertrucks
are garbage.
Trash garbage people.
Okay.
Elon Musk is a garbage person.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's where those words, the choice of language comes from. But I was like, oh, that's hilarious. I had never seen that before. I didn't know it was a thing, like a running thing.
Yeah,
I didn't hear about that. So I texted him a picture of it, and I was like, just sat next to this truck in traffic. I was like, that's hilarious. And he responded, yeah, I can't get behind vandalizing people's personal property. I think that's what's continuing to separate us and keep us divided. And I was like, oh. It's like, yeah, I guess you're right. I was like, shit. I feel like an asshole now. I was like, oh, you really just like put me in my place? He wasn't trying to put me in my place, but I was like, yeah, obviously I don't condone vandalizing people's personal property.
Okay, so now I'm even more. know where the communication breakdown was?
Yeah.
Tagged. I was like, tagged online.
Oh, no,
I was like, what?
Spray painted on the side.
Oh my god, I was so confused.
Oh,
I was
I'm
like,
sorry.
how is tagging somebody vandalism?
Oh, yeah, no.
Woo!
Spray painted
Got
on
it.
the side of the car.
Got it.
Yeah, garbage patrol.
Okay.
He drives around. There's also pictures on the internet. People have posted it. He hasn't.
In Bloomington?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's just rocking with it.
Right.
And yeah, obviously if that happened to me, I would be really upset. I would be embarrassed and hurt. It's not like I condone that happening, but I could just like see the humor in it also, kind of.
Yeah.
Even though it's like obviously not right.
Right.
But yeah, I was just like, it did. It made me feel like such a jerk. I was like, oh,
sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, well, apologies to Pete Davidson and Garbage Patrol.
So sorry for laughing at your pain, but sometimes you got to.
Well, you know what? In this climate, in this economy, it's laugh or cry.
Yeah.
So we're laughing. Or
something
like that.
I guess my point is that both can exist at the same time.
Yes.
You can understand and have empathy for the person and that not be the right thing, not condone it, but still like think it's funny.
Right.
Do you think that's possible?
I think so. I think especially when obviously there's a line. I think you sending it to that person, like you're not perpetuating the problem really by doing that. So yeah, I think both can exist. I think sometimes there's a line between having a laugh at something with a friend or a coworker or something, and then, you know, taking it to the next level of maybe like taking a picture of that truck and putting it on a social media platform to where then you're perpetuating the issue or you're encouraging people to go out and do it. So yeah, I definitely think both can exist. I think there's finesse.
You're right.
You know.
No, and I think you made a really good point, is that I would have never taken a picture of that, posted online to have a group of people.
You wouldn't have tagged the tag.
No, I wouldn't have tagged the tag. I wouldn't have want to like laughed at that person's expense in public in a group, because that is mean-spirited and horrible.
Yes.
But yeah, I will send a picture to my best friend and be like, is this crazy?
Yes.
And I think it was more just like, isn't this wild?
Yeah.
That this happened.
Yeah, you weren't like sending it being like, oh, fuck this guy. Like,
no. But it made me think twice about like, oh yeah.
Right.
And it's a bigger question too of like, I don't like Elon Musk. I don't think he's doing good things in the world. But does that mean people who do and buy Cybertrucks are bad people? No.
Right. And it's a case by case, just like anything else. Is there somebody out there purchasing and driving a Cybertruck whose values and beliefs absolutely do not align with yours and you probably wouldn't like that person? Yes. Is there somebody out there buying a Cybertruck that does more align with you, that you would maybe like and respect? And like, yes, I mean, I feel like it's case by case, and I do feel like there are certain things that can contribute to so-called like mob mentality in terms of like collectively hating somebody like Elon Musk. And I agree with you. I don't like him. I don't stand for things that he stands for, but do I think we have to be careful about contributing to collective hate and mob mentality, because it can manifest in ways that are dangerous? And absolutely. So unfortunately, there's a lot. I always say unfortunately when it's not, but there's just a lot of nuance and a lot of layers. The complexities are complexing, which we've said here before. So
yeah, but it was a tricky one. I was like, oh man, am I an asshole? But no, I don't think I am.
No, I don't think you are either.
But
it's okay to occasionally be called out on your shit and be like, oh shit, like was I maybe like not okay?
And I think it's healthy to like, investigate our responses to things.
Yes,
you know, and how we
have a little self-reflection, a little self-awareness about things.
Yeah, so I wasn't mad about his response. I was actually a little bit grateful. I was like, oh, yeah, you're right. Maybe I shouldn't just be laughing at this.
Right.
But I do question people's tastes who drive Cybertrucks.
Now, in terms of taste alone, they're absolutely hideous. Yeah. I cannot imagine anybody wanting to aesthetically drive that thing down the road.
And this is another thing. I feel like he's a fraud, because I also think they're kind of crap cars. I don't think they're like well made or doing the things that they say advertise to do. Yeah,
I'm sure.
But so I wonder. I'm curious too if that guy's just like, whatever. I'm rocking the garbage patrol. I'm not gonna change it.
Right.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
Just gonna roll with it. But...
Well, maybe we can get him on the pod.
Yeah, hey, Garbage Patrol, if you're out there, let's talk.
Okay, well, and speaking of HBO and HBO Max, I just have to bring up this one little tidbit. So, And Just Like That premiered on Thursday. I did watch it, and our girl came out of the woodwork.
Who's our girl?
You're one of your favorite people of all time.
Lisa? Trigger? No, who?
Who have we talked about on this pod before? Where like you went through a brief obsession with this person in the teenage years.
Girl or guy?
You drew a picture of her, I believe, maybe. It's a girl.
Oh, wait. Rosie O'Donnell! Yes! Yes, our girl!
Yes! She was in the episode!
Oh, yeah. Maybe she's having a little resurgence.
She might be.
Didn't she? I think I heard she moved to Europe.
Yes, one of our listeners tagged us, and said that she had moved to Europe and like kind of took a step away from the spotlight or something.
I guess that's what all celebrity lesbians are doing, because Ellen did the same thing.
Well, Ellen got canceled, didn't she?
Yeah. Well, I think Rosie is like the same thing. She got canceled, but I think she got tired of everyone just being super mean to her all the time.
Yeah, like being so critical of her.
She was like, "Fuck you guys, I'm out of here."
But anyway, so you'll have to watch it, and then we can talk about it. But yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Rosie!
We're your biggest fans, Rosie. We're here. Your fan club's here.
I'm pro Rosie. Rosie.
I am very prosy.
We're a prosy pod.
We are such a prosy pod. I mean, we couldn't be prosier. And I have one more HBO Max adjacent. Have you finished The Last of Us?
Yes.
And can we please talk about how horrible Pedro is at playing guitar and singing? I have never had the ick more in my life. I was like, this is awful. Yeah. Horrendous.
Yeah, it wasn't great, but I don't know if it was supposed to be. I did like the scene where he made the guitar. I hated the ending. I'm sorry to the season.
Can't even remember. I may not have finished the last episode.
Oh,
don't say anything.
Okay.
I may have fallen asleep and forgot that I fell asleep.
It's a cliffhanger ender for sure.
Is the guitar playing in that episode?
No, I think it's
she got kidnapped by those Seraphite people, and then something happened, and they just like left her in the woods.
I was like, "Where's it going? Oh, do we need another group of people to have a war with?"
No,
it seems like kind of a pointless storyline, to be honest.
Well, and it seems, at least with The Last of Us, it's been like 25 years since the apocalyptic event happened. I felt like they did that in The Walking Dead, where they had some like groups of people that were like the garbage people that were they were all driving Cybertrucks, and they were they were living in a garbage dump, and they had
it's just a funny sentence. They were living in a garbage dump.
They were living in a garbage dump, and they had this kind of almost like it wasn't like a different language, but they were just talking differently. It was English, but it was almost like a different dialect of English, if you will. And I'm like, listen, people, it's been 5 years. Nobody's forming new societies and languages in 5 years. Can we, this is so ridiculous. So it kind of felt like that about the Seraphite people, where I'm like, and they were giving Fens from Game of Thrones, which is another parallel from Game of Thrones, because they have the scars on their faces. But I'm like, are we really taking and I get that they're kind of like a cult, but it's like, have we really?
Yeah, and I think
I don't know.
I think they're trying to set themselves up for another season of storyline. Obviously, they have to develop this narrative that the real war is between the humans, not even
which is exactly Walking Dead too. Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like that's what that is all about. It's they're trying to develop something that they can turn into a story for next season.
Right.
But I don't know, it hasn't really captivated
me. Well, I'll have to go back in, and I've clearly not finished it because I'm not remembering the big cliffhanger. So yeah. But the guitar playing, maybe that was it for me.
Yeah,
I was like, I can't. I'm done. I'm now done. So.
That's like Luke playing guitar on Summer House.
Gross.
So bad. I was just like, you have to stop doing this. You have no self-awareness.
Oh, remind me to show you something after this, because are you watching Love Hotel?
Yes. But I've only watched the first couple episodes.
Oh, just wait.
Oh, yeah.
There's the most cringy of all cringy acoustic guitar playing session
Yes,
ahead of you.
Excellent, can't wait.
Yeah, and Luann's trying to get in on it because she's like her cover, and she's like, "Love hell," like it's so bad.
Oh no,
Just
I can't wait.
Yeah. Okay, so we need to get into our topic.
Yeah.
Okay, so on the heels of our last episode, we talked a little bit about OnlyFans, and it was basically just kind of like our opinions on how we would feel about like a partner being on it. And now I feel like we need to talk about the Bonnie Blue Annie night of it all.
Yeah, it's really bizarre.
And there's a lot, I feel like. I mean, it's complicated because it's almost one of those situations where you're kind of like breaking these norms, and like it's almost like, what is this really doing for?
Well, that's the thing. Well, and that's also the thing. I feel like she's not doing it for that reason. It's strictly a stunt to get followers or people on her OnlyFans. At least that's my take. Because when you brought it up and I was like looking into it, there was no conversation ever where she answered, "Why are you doing this?" Right. Which to me says, I'm just doing this to do it, to be crazy and have and blow people's minds, and then I'll get more followers.
Right. Which
I don't ever remember. I didn't find her ever being like, I want to break down stereotypes for sex work or anything.
Yeah.
I don't think she's doing it in the name of anything necessarily.
No, but I think it stands for something whether you say what it stands for or not. You know what I mean? And
yeah, that's where I question that in this case. Like, well, then what does it? I don't know.
Well, that's my whole point.
Okay.
So for those of you who don't know what we're talking about, you can look this up. There is an OnlyFans person, Bonnie Blue is, I believe, her handle or her name. She's got an Instagram too, and she slept with 1,000 men in 12 hours. Is that it? Yeah. So 2 minutes per man. These men flew from all over the world.
Not even 40 seconds, I think.
Was it 40 seconds?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that sounds closer to with the time. The other thing I'm not totally sure is, did she charge them? I couldn't find that anywhere either.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
No.
And now there's Annie Knight is another one who wanted to do it too. She did like 583 in 6 hours or something. She ended up hospitalized. So it's this. I feel like this is the kind of stunt that it doesn't really matter. Like, people are going to look at you doing it for multiple different reasons, and people are going to have feelings about it, whether you say why you're doing it or not. So I feel like there could definitely be people who, view this as like breaking down a stigma and saying like, women should be able to own their sexuality and their ability to like make money through their sexuality and do sex work and break down that stigma about it. And you might be able to view this that way. And I think with certain things I think it's great that OnlyFans allows the person doing the sex work to be in control of what they're doing.
Yeah, and they own their material, which is different than most other platforms, I think.
Right.
It's the one that sets it apart. It's like your property is still your property.
Right. I struggle with this one though. The only thing I did see that she said about why she was doing it, but this was the other one. She said, these men just want to have sex, and God forbid they have sex and I provide a service. Which, okay, but why? It's almost like feeding into that like entitlement.
Yeah, like
a little bit.
That's the thing that's all fine and well if you want to come out with a platform and be like, I'm a sex worker, I'm providing a service for men who want to have sex, there's nothing wrong with that. It's the stunt part that I'm just like, I don't get why that's necessary. Like, it doesn't bother me. I'm not like, oh God, this is a bad thing you're doing, and your sex work isn't right, and you're publicizing this thing that shouldn't be, publicized. I don't really feel any type of way about it, other than like, it just seems pointless, the stunt of it all. Just like, you can be outspoken and stand for sex work and be, a proponent of it. It's the stunt part that I'm just like, this just feels really empty, kind of pointless. I don't know what it's doing. I don't know what it's perpetuating.
Well, I feel like, for me personally, when I see somebody say something like, okay, like, God forbid a man have sex and he wants to have sex and I'm providing this service, it almost to me says, like, you're calling yourself, like, what other women should be. And it's almost perpetuating this idea of, like, men are entitled to sex with women. Like, God forbid I provide that service. And, you know, almost like making herself the example of, like, how we should all be. And I'm not saying that's her intention. I'm saying it can read that way a little bit.
Yeah.
And I hate the thought of young girls or impressionable young women seeing something like that and then feeling like, do I have some kind of duty to a man?
Expectation, yeah.
And I also, like, I hate to say this, but I sort of hate the fact that, like, all of these men are just flocking to this.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's the thing, is, like, trying to imagine the type of person who would be like, oh, yeah, getting in line for that.
Right.
I mean, that is the ick part. Like, hey, if you want to do this, you're a woman, you have the right to, like, great, that doesn't bother me, but it's also just like, but why? It's
right.
the why that hasn't been answered that I'm just like, I mean, it doesn't piss me off. I'm not, like, consensual sex, women...
Yeah, this
like,
is all
exploited sexuality doesn't bother me. You know, I don't have, like, a moralistic judgment against sex, you know? How some people, you know, feel like it's just not something, it's a special thing, sacred between, you know, a couple. I don't feel that way. Like, do whatever you want with your sexuality.
Right.
But the point of it is lost on me.
Yeah, it's kind of lost on me, too. And it also makes me wonder, like, did she really want to do that? Like, when we're talking about consent, it was all consensual, but did she really want to?
Which one?
Either.
Yeah, I mean,
Go ahead.
I watched a couple interviews with her. I guess Howie Mandel has a podcast with his daughter.
Yes.
And they had her on.
To it a couple times.
And, you know, she sounds like, honestly, I liked her. I like listening to her talk. She's very smart, well-spoken, like, level-headed, and she seemed, like, very much in control of her choice. And was like, the thing I didn't buy was just like, oh, I loved it. I loved it so much. It didn't hurt at all. I wasn't sore. I was like, there's no fucking way.
Well, she said on her Instagram she was.
Well, she said that, in that interview, she was just like, no, it was great. Like, I was a little sore, but, you know, not like the other girl who was like, I had to be hospitalized.
She has endometriosis.
Oh, man, yeah, that's nuts. But I just feel like there's no way you could, and the logistics of it all is kind of like, what?
The logistics are wild. I mean,
it's just absurd.
Yeah, it is absurd.
The thing is, like, is it truly a stunt? So it's just like, wow, what's the point? I don't get it. But but again, I mean, go nuts, you know, like, do what you want.
Right.
But just, I think it's weird that anyone would be interested in that or think like. And
it is hard to understand. It's hard to understand for me from both sides, from the person providing the service and then the person wanting to participate in using the service.
Yeah, that's hard for me to understand. The participation
part
is really lost on me. Like, there's just, I don't see any attraction to that, but I don't know. Yeah, it's weird. And it's weird now that it's, like, become a one-uppance. So, like, now there's other OnlyFans people that, like, oh yeah, we're doing. Now she's like, I'm doing 2,000.
Yeah, I know, and it concerns me a little bit that this now is becoming like a competitive situation, and I can't help but wonder, in the words of SJP, what it would be like if the tables were turned and there was a male, OnlyFans participant or whatever you want to call it, who was offering this service to women. How that would compare. Yeah, you'd be like, you're a total scumbag. That's kind of, or like, how gross. Right, and there's a
and I don't feel that way about her. I'm not like, my first instinct wasn't like, oh, you're disgusting, like a lot of people.
No,
me I'm pretty, like, very indifferent to it. Like, I don't really have I don't care if
I can't understand it, but I don't have, exactly. I'm not like, oh, what a gross, whatever. No, right. I mean, it's hard to understand, but why you would want to, but But yeah, it makes me wonder, how that would work in terms of, like, would women show up? I'm curious about that. And then I'm curious about how the public would respond to that.
I don't think they would. I don't think you can get 1,000 women to do that. Well, I don't know.
I don't know. See, that's the thing. And you know what? Maybe it'll happen. Yeah. I don't know.
No, I don't think there would be a man brave or dumb enough to do that this day and age. Because I don't think the tables are equal.
No, I don't either. Situation. And I also don't think the tables are equal in terms of the amount of time that you need with somebody. Yeah. To make that worth it for the participant.
Well, that's the thing too. Is like these men doing it. It's literally just for I could say I could do it, because it's not like at 40 seconds. It's not like you're it's not a to completion thing. It's not really
for a man. I'm sure some of them.
Maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think they probably.
But you know what I mean? It's like they aren't doing it because they're like, oh, this is going to feel so good. I really enjoy this. I feel like they're doing it for the spectacle of it. You know? Yeah. I don't know. That's my take, but.
I don't know. Yeah, it would be really interesting to get. I'd love to hear from now there was an Instagram video where the first guy in line, she did talk to him, but I mean, it's not like he said why he was doing it. He basically just said how thrilled he was to be doing it.
So fucking weird.
You know?
It's like absurd.
But the other interesting layer to all of this, which, to each their own, but Annie Knight is engaged.
Oh, wow.
Which...
It's a very open-minded guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wonder if he's in the porn industry too.
Could be. I don't know anything. I don't know that much about either of the women, but yeah. I don't know. And I think too, I feel like, so here's another layer of this that I don't like. There's been data showing that an increasing number of girls are dropping out of high school to start OnlyFans accounts. They turn 18 and they're like, I can make money, I can get out of my parents' house, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't want the new generation of OnlyFans people seeing this and thinking that's what they have to do to become successful too.
Right. Yeah, just like this.
If it's going to become this big competitive trend, and now it's like you can't compete unless you're doing something like this.
Yeah, it's like the viral aspect of it all.
Yes.
Like, what crazy ass thing can I do to go viral and just up my subscribers? Or I don't know what they're called on OnlyFans.
Again, I don't even know if that's why they're doing it, but it almost seems like what else would it be?
Yeah, I feel like that's the only point to it, is to just become famous for a minute.
Yeah.
To make more money on OnlyFans.
Yeah.
It seems like stunt is a perfect word for it. There is no purpose to it except for creating a spectacle that gets you attention and gets you more. I think that has to be the only reason.
I know.
Because she hasn't said anything otherwise.
Right.
So.
Not really, no.
But, yeah, really weird trend. Hopefully that doesn't become a thing with young girls.
Yeah, I really hope it doesn't. And I do.
Let's see how insane we can get with this.
Right.
To what end,
To what end? And at some point, I do feel like something bad is going to come of it.
Yeah.
Either somebody's going to end up hurt, or there's going to be some person that you've now invited into your life that is going to end up stalking you, or you're not going to be able to get rid of this person. Something bad is going to come of it at some point.
Right.
You can't just invite 1,000 random men into your life and into your body and not have some kind of repercussion at some point, I feel like.
Yeah, no.
I don't know.
Agreed, yeah, it's a slippery slope. It is, it's a risky industry.
Right.
There's a lot of risks involved.
Right.
With doing stuff like that. I'm not saying it's, not worth it for some people. But yeah, there's a lot of inherent risks in doing stuff like this.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah, and any kind of sex work poses those risks, but. Yeah, I don't know.
Hopefully, I can't imagine that many people are, interested in these kind of stunts. Hopefully it'll just be a thing that fizzles, because, it's okay, great, you slept with 1,000 guys in 12 hours. Cool, moving on.
Yeah.
is anyone really going to care if she sleeps with 2,000 guys in 12 hours now, which is, I think, her next
Right.
move,
I mean,
like,
hopefully it loses its luster.
I don't think it has much luster to go off of in the first place, so I would imagine it's just like any kind of viral thing.
Yeah.
People pay attention to it for a minute because it's like, whoa, that's crazy, and then on to the next.
Yeah. I hope so. I don't know. We'll see. And yeah, it's the fact that like that many men showed up too.
I know. Oh, I'm sure that wasn't an issue. Because I think she said, yeah, it was supposed to be 1,000 and it ended up being 1,057 because, 57 extra guys were there and she didn't want to disappoint them. So she just took everybody in line.
Lobbed them on to the end. Yeah. Yeah.
Great. Should we grapes and gripes?
Yeah. Okay, well, my grape is a simple one, a practical one. It's going to the fanny pack. There's nothing better than a hands-free moment, especially when you have children, and I've just really been gravitating towards it recently, even more so than like a crossbody. I don't want something like hanging off of me and I'm constantly like, moving it around and putting it behind me and then it's in front. The fanny pack has really been doing me a solid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
I don't know why we ever chat on the fanny pack.
I know. I'm a big fanny pack. I do a crossbody.
Yeah.
Fanny. I like it a lot.
Yeah. I mean, so what if it's dorky? And really, you know what? It's not.
I don't think if you wear it around your chest, it looks dorky.
I don't think if you wear it around your waist, it looks dorky.
I don't either. Yeah.
Especially if you can afford like those designer ones are really cute. I mean, I just have like a $5 one from Walmart or something. But yeah, I mean, no, I think it's cute. I don't know why we ever moved away from them in the first place. They should have always been a staple.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
Cool. What's your gripe?
Okay, so my gripe is going to trying to put pants on a child whose legs are even slightly damp. There's nothing worse or more frustrating than trying to put pants on a child whose legs are wet.
Yeah.
It's the absolute worst, or God forbid, you have a one-piece bathing suit on your child and they have to go to the bathroom and then you have to pull that thing back up.
Yeah, it's like taking your sports bra or your bathing suit or sports bra off if you're sweaty. It's impossible.
Absolutely horrible. I'm cursing the entire time. You cannot get them on, you cannot get them on, you cannot get them on, and then you finally do.
Just like writhing around.
Yes, it's horrible. It's absolutely horrible.
Cool. Sorry. I'm so sorry.
Cool.
I'm so bad. Cool. Cool, moving on.
Sick gripe. So I can't relate to that at all because I've never done it, so cool.
No, I can't relate because I feel like it's similar when I try to take my sports bra off.
No, I know.
Yeah, no, that sounds awful. I'm sorry. I can totally relate to that in a theoretical way. Okay, my gripe's and gripe. My gripe goes out to just buying pants in general.
Mm-hmm.
It's such a struggle as a 5'2.5" individual.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I've been getting them hemmed more recently. I've just been like investing in.
Which is a good investment.
It is.
I had my legs let out. I get it. Yeah.
It's a lot of times it's like more expensive than the pants I buy every once in a while.
It's worth it though.
It's worth it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a good thing, but it's so annoying. They just like never fit right.
No.
It'd be great if we could just.
And I'm on the opposite end of that spectrum, so I get it.
There's this subscription I keep getting fed on Instagram. That's like clothes made by a short woman for short people, and you can like get a box sent to you. I'm like very close to trying it.
Yeah.
We'll see. My grape goes out to charcoal oysters.
Did you go to Superior Seafood?
I did. I used to work at this place, Superior Seafood, and they had the best charcoal oysters.
They're delicious.
Oh my god.
I've never had them anywhere else.
Oh, they open the half shell and they fill it with garlic butter and cheese, and then they grill them, and they're just like heavenly. Put
They're
on bread.
delicious.
Oh man, I had so many. I spent so much money on oysters. But yeah, it was great. It was just like exactly what I wanted, and it did not disappoint.
Nice.
So those are mine.
All right.
Not the most exciting grape and gripe, but
that's okay. I mean, fanny packs and charcoal oysters. I don't know. Pretty elite, really. Pretty elite.
That's true. That's true.
All right. We'll see you time, besties. Bye.